Howdy there, Chimp. Welcome back to our great manga war. Hopefully you are having a fantastic day today. And today, we'll be going over my April manga log. So without further ado, let's jump into it. April was such a weird month for me, honestly. It was a lot of stuff happening, a lot of good stuff, but not a lot of stuff on the manga side, honestly. During this time, I was doing a couple challenges, one of them being my 30-day manga challenge, and I couldn't buy any manga, so I just went through my backlog of what I had and completed it, which, bravo on my part. Thank you, but, I mostly just read GTO, 14 Days in Shonan, and Tokyo Ghoul. I also read some volumes online, but that's going to be saved for another video. So, without further ado, let's go into it. So, the first one we got here is Tokyo Ghoul. And man, oh man, okay. So, I went into Tokyo Ghoul with very high expectations, because I loved the original series so much. And I read, like, the first 4 volumes of it, and I, like, loved it. And, going into Tokyo Ghoul, I was expecting more of the same type of stuff, and, you know, same quality. And when I got into Tokyo Ghoul, it just kind of felt like it crumbled a lot under the weight of all the characters that were thrown in our faces, with not a lot of, like, background on who they are as a person, and what they do, and, like, how the whole system works now. Because, like, now they're, like, they take the ghouls and take, like, their power, like, it's called Kagui, and puts them into humans. So they have powers like that now, but they're not ghouls. They're similar, though, but they're not ghouls. Except for this one guy, whose name is Hayes, but he is a ghoul, and is the original main character. But it isn't until, like, much later in the series we find that out, and I'm just, like, just trying to wrap my head around this whole idea of what the heck's going on. And the pace is really not helping it. The pace was super, super quick, and I just could not wrap my hand around it. Until around about the very end. At the very end, a lot of the non-essential characters started dying off, which meant more of the the main characters got more screen time, so I could, like, take a breather and, like, realize what's going on. And once that happened, you know, I was like, I'm still a little bit confused what's going on, but, like, I'm loving it. Like, I'm loving the artwork, the actions, the fights, the villain, all that stuff. I'm loving it. You know, I'm loving it. This is great. You know, just, it's a little bit higher than junk food shonen, you know? It's really solid stuff. And by the end of it, I really enjoyed the ending. It was so freaking good. And like I said, by the end of it, I liked it a lot more than I was expected to, coming from the first couple volumes. Do I think Tokyo Ghoul is a solid series? Probably. It's probably a really solid series. I'm gonna eventually buy Tokyo Ghoul, the original box set, and reread it with it, and then see if that helps my understanding of it better. So yeah, I did really enjoy the ending and the characters and how the story went. Except for, like, this last part in the end where it's like, oh, we've defeated the main bad guy, but they're like, oh no, they're like, you have to fight this girl who's, like, has no build up or anything, and it's just one shot. I'm just like, what's that doing there? I'm not really sure. Just a little bit confusing, you know. And it was fine. But overall, though, I really enjoyed the ending. Except for the very end. Look at this text. It's for like 5 pages. It's another thing I'm going to complain about. Look at this. They go through every single character, giving them a final background. And this is like, I don't care for any of these guys. You know, it's cool that they have an ending, and, you know, if someone enjoys the character, that's great. But, like, I couldn't imagine a shonen like Bleach in like that, where it's like, oh, every one of the characters from, like, the Soul Society gets a, you know, like a ending, like, oh, this is what happens in the future, you know. It's just, ugh. I don't know. It did a little bit at the end felt a little bit unnecessary, but overall, I really did enjoy the ending of Tokyo Ghoul. And I'm really looking forward to jumping back into Tokyo Ghoul when I eventually do. But, and then here's the meat potatoes right here. GTO 14 Days in Shonan. I mean, what can I say about this series? it's just more GTO, and that's nothing to complain over. And it's really good GTO. Like, holy crap, it's awesome. It's more GTO and more character development for the characters. This takes place like somewhere like around about the 20ish area of the series, where it's not said, but there's a break. They take a break, like a spring break or summer break, and Onizuka goes back to Shonan, and he works with one of his old friends from the Shonen Gumi series, and they're over an orphanage, and he helps the kids with the orphanage. And oh man, I loved it. I loved it so much. I love GTO so much, and 14 Days of Shonen is just more of that. But it's different though. You know, instead of, you know, the teacher and student relationship, it goes over a more different relationship with like the parent and the kid, but the kid is dealing with past trauma and like parent isn't there, which is vastly different. You know, if it was like Onizuka busting into like their parents' houses and like saying stop, you don't need to do that, it'd be really weird. But this is like their parents are coming back to like try to take them out of the orphanage and like beat them up and, you know, brutalize them and all these awful things. And it's just really solid, and it's so short. It's only 9 volumes. I wish there was more though. I felt like it could have been lasted a little bit longer, giving us more time for the characters. But because this series goes by really fast. How the characters go about their character arcs and how they grow, it's a lot faster than the original GTO. And while I don't mind the faster pace, because it's still done really freaking well. It's GTO after all. I still think I would have liked a little bit slower pace. Overall, though, I loved GTO 14 Days in Shonen. And it was just a blast. And it's probably my favorite thing I read this month. And with that, thank you for watching my beautiful Chimp Champ. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. And as always, go out there and read some manga, my friend.